Okay, we are back. This is game number 5 of the Calvin and Hobbes 2023 two-team finals. Again, Father Xmas versus MP, Team England versus Team France, a battle for the ages. So let's just jump right into it. This is S2 Full House. One of our main strategies over on our side was to keep it to the basics, and we knew that since it was 2-2 and it was our choice, that means that sort of the advantage was in our favor, since it's basically now a 3-game tournament, and since this game is our choice, and if we happen to lose game 6, then game 7 would also be our choice. So that's the advantage, so we thought. We'll see what happens as we go on, but I think these are all the same teams, except we do see Scratch, who was drafted onto Team Empty, so he was by default put on this team. It is now 8 versus 7, which I think some of the prior games it was 8 versus 7, but it was Team Father Xmas that had the 8 soldiers. I think we are sticking with the same strategy. Yep, my guys are headed to the swamps, and everyone else is headed to the plains. I have yet to see what Team MP's strategy will be. We see Spy going for the plains, which he has been doing pretty much the entire time. It looks like Spy is trying to get Gorilla to also go to the plains. And Xenophone, perhaps tired of going to the swamps, is also going to the plains. So a lot of guys going plains. Father Xmas saying flood plains and keep together. So this might be what I believe to be one of the more, perhaps a pure brand of S2. Both captains aggressively going to the plains, and this might be it right here. So I'm just keeping on here. We have Spy, Xenophone, Gorilla, Rickless Morty, Karma, Fenster, and then we have Father Xmas, Jahral. Not really sure where Cryptos is. We have the exchange here. Spy, one of Spy's guys goes down. I think Rickless Morty went down. I think MP's soldiers are a little too clustered. Yeah, they're starting to spread apart. But Team Father Xmas has a nice line going. Now what Father Xmas needs to do is get aggressive here, and then he could put pressure on these guys from a different angle, but instead he is really just holding on to this hill, when I think he should have been getting a little more aggressive in that situation. And in fact, there's nobody trying to push through this access point, which I think is a mistake on both teams. In the swamps, we see John God and Rage trying to kill my guys. But this plains battle continues on. Nice headshot there from Karma. Okay, now we see some movement. We see Father Xmas and Jahral. They really need to be pushing up here. Oh, Scratch is going to get Father Xmas. Okay, now Jahral might want to rotate a little more and put some pressure on Dawson East. But it looks like Karma is going to work, and he is just mopping up the field here. Nice RPG there from Rickless Morty. He is going to pursue Spy. I think I got wiped out in the swamps. Shot like a dog. Gorilla is fighting for his life. He's going to go down. So now it's just Das Geist and Spy against these 6 players in planes. Notice a whole bunch of zombies here that could be better put to use on offense. Crypto's just missing an RPG. But Das Geist is in big trouble right now. He is going to go down. Oh, but Scratch, that's the second Zook we've seen this game where he just connects. Great job from the legendary Scratch to help turn the tide of this plains battle. I mean, even though the numbers are somewhat equivalent, these soldiers are pretty beat up, so they're going to have to back off. But again, I think Father Xmas, they could have run right up the gut here with 3 or 4 guys and caused some chaos. One of these soldiers is going to go down. Cryptos is trying to do all he can to sort of stall and help Karma's 2 guys to escape. He misses the suicide RPG. But he is going to allow Karma's guys to heal. Rickless Morty, he might get that red guy to heal. Xenophone and Gorilla Scratch, they're all in hot pursuit. Looks like he might get there though. Now we see some Devil in the swamps. Rage and John God trying to sneak around, but Overdose, Fenster, and Jahral are forcing a retreat there. Yeah, so this is actually shaping out to be what I consider, what I consider a typical World War II S2 script. Regardless of who wins, I think this is the most pure game that we've seen so far, and hopefully we'll have some more games of this type where everyone goes planes except for maybe one guy, and yeah, good job on both teams. We see a pursuing force here with Jahral and Fenster. Gonna get one of those guys, but we see them perhaps backing off a bit. Gotta watch out for this RPG pile. Now the plains battle is back on. We see Karma, Cryptos versus Xenophone, Scratch, John God, and Gorilla. So, even though it's 3 versus 4, it's 4 players against 2 players. Even though Overdose and Rickless Morty are coming around, Gorilla's going to get shot. And all of a sudden it is 7 on 2. So, yeah, that was a major switch. Okay, 7 on 3 if we're including this soldier. But now we have Spy creeping around. Is he going to take Father Xmas unawares? Overdose is engaging Spy. That was an excellent moonshot there from Karma. That heal actually froze him in place, so Karma's RPG could land. Now we just see a massive wall of Father Xmas's soldiers. Team Empty is really backpedaling right now. We see Fenster and Rage going at it on the front part of the hill. And we have Father Xmas and Cryptos creeping around in the back. So there's like 3 separate battles going on right now. I don't think I can capture everything. Someone's gonna get grenaded there. So what we're seeing now is a push. I think in games past, this would have been a situation where Team Father Xmas would have backed off a bit, but we're really going for it right now. Somebody throwing a head. I think the final push is about to commence. We see Karma in the backfield going after some of these guys. Gorilla, Xenophone. Overdose is going for the hill. He's going to get shot. They are all defense, so these 2 guys should be going. RPG barrage. It's gonna get one guy. Nice job there from Jahral. Nice zoop from Cryptos to close it out. Alright, so, again, I think this was just a classic recon game where both teams were aggressive. They both went to the plains, and the momentum shifted on several different occasions. It was good stuff. Karma, 36 damage, 8 kills, 1 loss. Again, this is a vintage Karma performance, and yeah, I mean, there was some pretty good play on both sides. Again, a lot of tide turning, but I'm very happy with the way, not just the result of this game, but the way that both teams decided to overload the plains, because that's the way to do it. And a lot of chaos ensued. Alright, this is Game 7. This is the so-called seizure map. For whatever reason, MP Phil likes this map. Perhaps he's a bit drawn to this map like an insect is to a bug lantern. That's the only thing I can think of. But we also see the first appearance of Flick42, so welcome to the game. I think we might have lost Das Geist. He actually switched to our team, and this is actually what I believe to be the first 16-person game in quite a while. 2023, these max games are still happening, so it's good stuff. We got pretty interesting map here, plenty of ammo, and it is body count and not capture the flag. That's one thing to remember here.
Game on.
So Overdose explaining the John God style fire nades. I told Karma he has to aim 200%. Karma, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to understand what I'm talking about. Not really. He claims to be somewhat good at math. Maybe his brain was on vacation. Who knows? Anyway, we see a large force going middle. Overdose, Karma, Fenster. Who's this guy? Cryptos. Whereas Empy is opting for the three-pronged attack. Just a reminder, it is Father Xmas with 3 wins, Empy with 2 wins. So if Father Xmas's team wins this game, it will be all over. So this three-pronged attack, we do see Empy and John God able to sort of sneak through around our line, and there goes the seizure. We see Jahral is actually getting surrounded.
And we'll probably die soon.
Oh, I guess Jarral's on the voice chat. Oh, he is gonna die soon. He's gonna get grenaded. Yeah, what's your opinion on this game, Jahral? Do you like the seizure map?
It almost gives me a heart attack, so I don't think I like your analogy of him being like a rat drawn to poison or a mosquito to a bug lamp. You know, I I think that's why MP likes it, but I personally not really. I don't care for it.
Yeah, I mean, whether you compare Empy to a rat or a mosquito, an insect, you know, I think both analogies apply in that context. But yeah, so good to hear your voice. This is game number 6, but you know, do you care to comment on the games that have happened, you know, thus far, or do you have any commentary on the teams and all of that kind of stuff?
I just really enjoyed the camaraderie and the turnout. I mean, it's always good to see friends, and it's exciting. It's like it's either close or you know, and like so many little twists and turns in the games keep them interesting. So I just love Myth. I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you mentioned the camaraderie and the return of, you know, just playing with the guys, but we also saw a few, you know, returning players, Rickless Morty, Das Geist, Flick, Rage, you know, so I think Sunday's games were a good mixture of both the usual suspects, but also a couple of returning players as well.
Yeah, and I think some of these returning people, once they get back up to snuff and maybe some subtle little nuances in the gameplay have changed, you know, I think once they get back more on, you know, the same page as the rest of us, it's going to make for a lot more intense games in the coming few weeks. It just seems like people are like getting back into it, you know, and getting primed for Myth World Cup. Like this is like an appetizer.
Exactly. I think Cryptos has these guys on auto walk. They're just gonna get shot. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what you want to do. I think Cryptos did realize it, but it was a little too late. So that's some free kills for John God and Empy. Meanwhile, Father
So
X.
how again does the Zuka and Fire Nade work? Because to me, I can't pick up both at the same time.
Yeah, you can only pick up one non-grenade unit at a time. So, yeah, you can't pick up the RPG and the Fire Nade at the same time.
But you called it a Zook Fire Nade, and then you said to go like 200%, which usually you're at 40%, which means you're going to figure out 100% is where the target will be when the RPG gets there. You're trying to figure out where they'll be at 40%, that you'll hit that spot, and you don't know if they're going to turn back and forth. But you're saying go figure out where they are and just go double the distance away, 200%, for a super launched fire nade.
Okay, so I was using zook as a verb instead of a noun. So to me, a zook is the act of shooting whatever projectile straight forward. And so when I say zook fire nade, what I meant was, throwing the fire nade straight forward rather than lobbing it. But yeah, to what you said, you want to aim approximate. I think John God said approximately 200% behind your target. So that's the way the physics work for the John God style fire nades. This guy's gonna get shot. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, he's gonna get shot.
And sometimes you're in close combat, though. You can't see 200% of somebody just on the edge of your map, you know? I mean, it's like, it seems like there's a bit of a conundrum to just be able to, what if, that's off the map even?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes, I mean, I guess
You can let me just listen. Let me just listen, and you can commentate on the game. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Sometimes you just have to let it go, though. I mean, or learn through experience. But yeah, so we have right now a very close game, 196 to 193. However, we only have Das Geest on Team Father Xmas, whereas Gorilla, John God, and Empy are alive for Team Empy. However, keep in mind this is a body count game, so I would say considering Das Geest's health, he's probably got... Well, keep in mind that these John God soldiers are back to the old damage, where each soldier is about 12 health. He's probably got maybe 3 hit points left, and so if Das Geest can get, 7 or 4 or more damage, sorry, he'll be doing all right. But if he gets 7 damage, then he can actually die, and we would still win, assuming that he only has 3 left. But Das Geest is actually going to hand the unit off to Karma. I don't know what the etiquette is. Normally I would just let the guy who has the unit keep the unit, but Das Geest is a team player. Having Karma with this unit would probably give us the best chance of winning. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know if that's something you want to do.
Well, in Das Geist's defense, he was offering to spare units out when he had 2 still. So after he had one of them die, he gave the other one to Karma. I didn't feel it was like being funny or unfair, because hey, they're on our team, and I mean, you got to play the cards you're dealt. So if you think Karma's going to play it better, I mean, why not take a chance? I would. I give it to Karma. I see what you're saying by play it yourself. I like that, but
yeah, I mean, it comes down to how serious you want these games to be. If you want to maximize your chances of winning, then you should probably give it. You should always give the unit to someone like Karma. But if you want to just play it out, and if you keep the unit for yourself, I don't think that anyone can really blame you either. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe this is an indication that people are taking this game seriously, which is both good and bad to see, I guess. Karma might have had an angle there, but he aborted. And Karma could try and lob in this scenario. He might get 3 damage if he connects with all 3 of these guys. Plus, he might kill Empy's soldier, and then he could actually run away. Even though there are 10 minutes left in the game, so I don't know how effective that would be. He is going to get Empy with that residual blast. Karma is going to get healed. So now Karma essentially has to kill both of these guys for us to win. And instead of keeping the high ground, he's opting to get a bit aggressive here. He misses the stab. I don't know if that stab would have killed him, but
eliminated.
I think if Karma had stabbed Gorilla and then maybe got a couple of shots off on John God, we might have actually stolen that victory. But unfortunately, Karma's going to go down. But you can't say that he lost it for us, because he ended up getting 8 kills, a titanic 60 damage. I don't know if I've seen 60 damage. Well, actually, since it is John God's Heroes, I guess the equivalent is maybe, or you have to divide that by, 2.5 or whatever it is. So it'd be like more 35, 40. So we have seen Karma put up these kinds of numbers earlier. But the surprising thing is MP Phil, you typically don't associate him with good playing, but he did end up getting 55 damage and, securing plenty of, almost over 25% of the damage for his team, which is exactly what you want in body count. He's probably relieved that he didn't have to guard a flag, as the previous 5 games were all capture the flag. He was able to let loose, get rid of all that stress that was accumulating in the prior games because he was sitting on the flag, unleash all that pent-up rage in his system, overdose 30 damage, but no kills, which is actually, for body count, kind of good if you think about it. But, this is tied up now 3-3. We are now going to go to game number 7. This is for all the marbles. MP versus Xmas, England versus France. Doesn't get any better than this.
What was good about your 30 damage is that it was actually the second most damage on the team. A lot of guys had a kill or two, but they got 26 or 21. So in BC plan, it's damage that counts. And I thought the old ones were like at 11 damage points per soldier, but I'm not sure. You're saying 12?
Well, I think it oscillated somewhere between 11 and 12. What John God told me in the past is that the actual number of hit counts varies, because there are, some of the soldiers are stronger than others in very minute ways, and so that's why it's generally 11 to 12 rather than 11 or 12. But it could all just be old wives' tales. Who knows?
One thing I noticed in regular myth, that you could win on BC and have all your guys dead. You just get the more expensive units, like say for raid or whatever, you get a lot of, they get a giant and you get a lot of little units, but they're expensive. And his giant can still be alive, but you've got more damage on his units because you've got less units.
Yeah, this is World War II. We don't talk about reg, and for anyone out there listening, yes, raid on the plains is considered reg, and I'll put any kind of money on that, any kind of whatever. I'll die on that hill, and that's that. But this is World War II. This is game number 7, tied up 3-3. Winner takes all. We see a flood of guys seemingly going north to the plains, and we see Karma, Rickless Morty, Jahral, Kryptos, the usual suspects go into plains for Team Father Xmas. Again, overdose, sent to the swamps to pretty much do nothing. As you can see, there's no one really from Team MP in the swamps area except perhaps John God. But this is it right here. It seems like somebody got RPG'd. Maybe Spy. He's going to lose a guy. Somebody died on the pile there. And Jahral is forced to retreat.
Run! Run!
Yeah, exactly.
What I really liked was John God's commentary about the stabbing, that there's a relay in the animation, and if you do it just right, but time it just right, it doesn't do that relay, and you'll actually stab quicker. It's like he's got insight into some of these things that I kind of knew about, but it's like when he says it, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what's going on, and I need to kind of work on that a little bit. You know, it's like it's good that there's still learning involved to me after 20 some years of playing this. And I didn't mean to digress and bring up Regs. Sorry.
No, I mean it's good, you know, like you know, sometimes your intuition will tell you something, but you really only believe it when you hear it from someone else. That was a nice RPG there from I'm not sure who that was. Maybe who was it? Spy. Someone's gonna get annihilated there. I think it was Gorilla. Yeah. So we actually saw Team MP outnumbering Team Father Xmas in the plains for a while, but I think they were reinforced by Dusk East, Fenster, and now Team MP is on their heels yet again.
Last week, MP and Father Xmas were playing together, and they both had 17 damage on a map, which I thought it just shows, you know, a lot about teamwork and, you know, and they've been playing. But to me, Rickless and Duskgeist and Fenster, it's good to see them, and I'm surprised that some of them aren't that rusty. You know, some of them can do some stuff that's pretty good. Like, wow.
Yeah, well, it's like riding a bike. I mean, especially, you know, for something like World War II, where you're just like shoot, dodge, RPG. You know, there's really only three things. You know, it's just like riding a bike, I guess.
Well, you've got the, like, I don't use it much, but you got the spacebar tapping, so your guy stops just as the other enemy is going to shoot, so the bullet zips in front of you. You know, there's little stuff like that, you know, I like some of it though. I don't think it matters. Like if you blow up a pile and your grenade doesn't kill the guy, but if the whole ammo dump blows up and the guy dies on the other side of it, an enemy does, I don't think you get the damage for that, even though you caused him to die. I'm not sure, but I just feel that way.
I think it depends on the game type, but I mean, I've seen people die from pile pops, and it does count as damage. Other times it doesn't count. So I mean, there's probably some method to the madness. But again, like with John God and stabbing, you know, you really have to look under the hood and examine the actual physics to see how that works out. And I'm definitely not interested in doing that. Meanwhile,
We had a game last week where twice two nades hit the flagpole in the center of the thing. It was like funny because it was like if guys were tossing nades, what are the odds of them actually hitting a flagpole if they were even trying? And yet, as two guys were dancing around the flag in one of the games, they both, or maybe it was just twice in the same game. I'm not sure, but I just love the physics, how things happen and you don't expect them. You know, it's the unpredictability and the miscalculations that make Myth so much fun to me. It's given it intrigue and depth, and it's just, you never know what's going to happen.
yeah, I mean, if Myth was predictable, I would win every game. So that's all, you know. But you know, it really is the things that go wrong that make the game interesting. Whether it's a Dorf bottle that doesn't go off, whether it's a, you know, like the things that you just described. I mean, that's what keeps us coming back for more. Meanwhile, we see.
And also, we like bragging rights against the people we play with. We like to be able to say, ha ha.
Yeah, there's always a certain amount of vanity there. But meanwhile, we see Xenophone and John Godden getting very aggressive, and Flick. Meanwhile, we see also Fenster, Karma, Kryptos, Dusk East in the plains. I think they're kind of wondering whether they should keep pursuing or whether they should fall back, because these guys are causing a bit of a headache. I think Kryptos is deciding to pinch, which is probably the right move. Karma's going to hold these guys off.
I don't think they could have been too aggressive there, because if they were aggressive from the plains, they would have just retreated to the South Hill and had the upper, you know, the higher ground advantage. So it would have been hard for them to push that.
Yeah, well, we see everybody shooting at these two guys. Xenophone and Flick, they are in some big trouble. Flick goes down. Xenophone, I think it's just a matter of time here. Yeah, he's going to get gunned down.
Yeah, crossfire.
So that was a good rotation led by Kryptos to sort of, put some fire from another angle, and that allowed these guys to move up and wipe the board, or wipe these guys off the board. Now we have this battle between Karma, Spy, Gorilla, Rage, Scratch going on in the plains. It really is just Karma by himself with one Crypto soldier. These guys need to be moving up. Rickless Morty needs to be moving up, but not necessarily up this way because they don't want to be fighting up that hill. Yeah, Fenster really needs to back up. Okay, that's good. Here's Kryptos and Scratch still going at it. But now Kryptos is getting triple team. Flick, Scratch, and John God going after this one soldier. Meanwhile, Karma, Fenster, Father Xmas, Rickless Morty, they are surrounding the big hill. And if they are able to secure this, it's probably not going to go well because there are just so many units here. So this is actually a situation where I wouldn't be as aggressive as I would have in games past. I think, who was it? Flick, Scratch, and John God have disengaged from Kryptos, which allows him to kind of sneak in back here. And Team Father Xmas is going to at least control this hill, even though we're not standing directly on it. These MP soldiers are really bunched up. They don't want to get grenaded here.
Yeah, or Zoop. Sometimes you got two guys going one way and somebody else has two guys going another way, and they kind of like this clump. And if I have a chance, I'll lob a Zook in the middle of them. I'm bound to hit something, right?
Yeah, I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, we see
That's true.
I see a fire nade. I don't know who threw that. Jahral, you're throwing fire nades? What are you doing, man? And then you're gonna get shot. I think you could have been a little more productive there.
That was actually good for me. To go down in a blaze of glory.
Okay. But
they will avenge my death.
We see pretty much all of MP's team on defense. Again, we have seen Team MP get surrounded pretty much every game to varying degrees of success. We do see an aggressive Xenophone soldier who another fire nade, this time from Karma. So I mean, if you're following Karma, then I guess can't really complain there. Great dodge from Xenophone. Is he going to get a kill? No, he doesn't. But it was a great maneuver because actually now everybody is falling back. We see just a huge amount of orange and red soldiers. So I don't know how optimal it would have been to continue the push, but it seems like Xenophone's completely aggressive charge up this hill led to it sort of led to everyone else just kind of peeling back a bit, and so this major offensive that we had kind of stalled out. I'm not really sure what the play should have been. I think definitely there should have been some presence here, but I think everyone really just booked it back to the flag with that Xenophone soldier. We see overdose in the plains, or sorry, in the swamps.
I thought we had such a rough, tough row to hoe, just with the uphill fight, that everybody wanted to run back and maybe get some heals and lick our wounds a little bit because, I mean, their heals were getting exhausted, but they were able to have the higher ground and replenish themselves. And it was just, it was like, to me, we needed a break. And the game was still, enough time.
Yeah, we see Overdose getting RPG bugged here. He was trying to launch at this guy, but the myth gods weren't having it. He just threw grenades instead. Bit frustrating there. It looks like Kryptos is going to go down in the backfield. So now it is 45 to 41. Karma pointing out that we are only up 1 unit. However, again, this sort of this enclosure that Father Xmas is forming is making sure that all of the enemies are sort of in a contained area. It's just a matter of, can they make the final push to close this thing out? See Gorilla.
They were up 2 or 3, and now we are only up 1 unit, as Karma just said.
Yes. Now we see Gorilla and Overdose. This one-on-one battle over here. Another one-on-one battle, or a two-on-one battle. Das Geist and Spy. Das Geist probably wants to get out of there. Dodging for his life. I wouldn't get aggressive in this situation, but it looks like he's keeping the pressure on, but not getting too careless. So I guess that's a good play from him. But I would get the heck out of there. Meanwhile, we see Karma in the trees. Going after Xenophone. Karma really wants to get to this area right here, and then he could pinch these guys, but I think he's instead rotating to try and pinch them from this. It's a worse angle, but he's definitely trying to help out Das Geist so he can get some momentum, even though he's going to go down. And Spy just on the Camper's Hill, dishing out damage. That is not good. Fenster's going to get taken out by I think a grenade. Meanwhile, we see Rickless Morty causing a bit of havoc in the backfield. I think there's actually too many soldiers. Father Xmas, Rickless Morty, Overdose in the swamps. I think they could have been rotated to reinforce the plains. Now it's Team Father Xmas that are on their heels. And speaking of heals, I don't believe there are any. So this is not looking good for Team Xmas. It looks like who is this guy? Father Xmas is going to sneak a guy around the back, but he's going to have to take out this guy for sure, and then kill another. But it's tall order.
I almost felt it was a misallocation of a valuable resource with you not going plains. Like I think I could have handled swamps, blow up the ammo dump or just scout
this
it
is
out
for
a
all
little
this is
bit.
for all the marbles here.
Contested.
All Father Xmas has to do is just kill this guy and it's over. MP versus Father Xmas for the win. I don't know what Father Xmas is doing. He has some kind of weapon, or perhaps it's a heal. I don't know. If he's trying to get MP, he could have healed MP. Oh, it is an RPG. I think Father Xmas could have played that a bit better. He could have actually won the tournament for us had he launched that RPG.
Yeah.
But it wasn't meant to be.
And they're still up 1. And you can't blame them for dancing around the flag. Why should he take a chance at stabbing it out? He had backup coming up to assist him. I mean, I would have danced around the flag too.
Yeah, but I mean, if Father Xmas had a heal, he could have healed MP to freeze him, and then he could have gotten into stabbing position. He ended up having an RPG. He could have either zooped the flag, which would have done a decent amount of damage to MP, or he could have done something with that RPG. But instead, it was more or less a suicide soldier. But the suicide didn't even kill that guy, so I don't know what that was.
I wonder if he had died or whatever, and the Zoop had gone off, if it might have given us the win anyway somehow. You never know it. Myth can be glitchy like that.
Well, usually the RP first, I think the soldier has to die. He's considered dead when he drops the RPG. So I think MP's team would have kept the flag even if that RPG would have killed the MP soldier. But now we have.
I'm just saying, you could shoot him with a Zoop the same time you're at the flag, and he's shooting you, and you both kind of die together. Maybe if he had shot it or whatever. It seems like it was close, but anyways, I think this has been a lot of interesting little skirmishes compared to just 8 guys attacking uphill, 8 guys around the hill. Like seemed like it was panning out to be. This, has got a lot of little interesting things going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of the last. I mean, this is it here. There's only a minute and a half left. We have a bunch of red soldiers. Ooh, someone died, so it's now 29% to 16%. These soldiers are dropping like flies because they're all exhausted, they're all damaged.
Yeah, there's no heals. Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, and I think, okay, this is the last soldier. It's Father Xmas.
Medic!
And he's going to go down. So that is it, folks. We have Team MP, the Commonwealth, closing out this tournament. Congratulations to MP. Congratulations to all the players on Team MP for a well-fought game. It's all the way down to the wire. Game 7. It was, there were massive tide changes, and yeah, it was overall good stuff. We see Spy, 31 damage, 6 kills, 1 loss. Pretty much the MVP of Team MP, and that's why MP chose Spy to be part of the Commonwealth. A Spy is a permanent fixture of the Commonwealth, and he really showed why he is such. Karma, another typical performance, but I guess it just wasn't enough for Team Father Xmas to get over the hill. And we'll see what happens in the future, but for now, the day, the tournament, the week, the month, the year belongs to MP. And so that is that. I am now going to see what is for breakfast. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you guys next time.